Hey, good morning, good morning, morning. Glad to have you, Kimberly, my lovely wife. Patrick, glad to have you as always. Francois, good morning. Everybody else, you can use the chat. You can interact with me if you want to. You don't have to, of course. Um, we usually have quite a few people watching, and I'll interact. So, there is a new feature called Super Chat. Looks like a little dollar bill sign. You can do that, and I will review whatever you want to. And I don't typically review any stocks during the morning show, but if you give me a super chat, I will do that. So just so you know, that's out there, and you can set the amount. You don't have to accept whatever it says. It is variable. So let's get started. Jump into it, shall we? As always, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. And today, that may be more applicable than we care to admit, right? So, past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, and fun, hopefully, and is not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instrument out there. If you desire that personal financial advice, hire and consult a financial advisor. And we have blood in the streets this morning. So, let me pull up this other chart I had that I wanted to talk about. Everybody's seen this chart, hopefully. If you're brand new here, this may be the first time you've seen it, but we're right down to the support. This is not a live chart. This is a snapshot from yesterday's close. Today, it looks like we're going to come right down and test this zone. We may push down. So caution, 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 because this move up, this is futures drifting off to a lower low overnight. This move up from, looks like it started about say 3 in the morning my time, Eastern time, from 3 to about 6:30, 7. That was a corrective move and very proportional. And this means that we're likely to see a lower low than this overnight low. That overnight low was 39.25 on the futures. The actual S&P 500 SPX runs about it's running about 10 points lower right now. So we can see we can pop over and look at the live chart right here. This is delayed by 10 minutes, I believe. Yeah, 10 minutes. So relatively live, looking at 39.34. That would put the open, if we open right now at 9, on this delayed data, it would put us right at 39.24-ish. 39.24 is right there, 39.24, highlighted in green as the ideal place to find support and bounce. So I know in the mainstream media right now, beating the drums loud. This is a bear trap or bull trap. It can also be a bear trap. So nobody's talking about the fact this can be a bear trap. So be very, very careful. I think this is a bear trap more than likely. But I am biased long. So I do want to make sure that everybody is aware. I've been trying to, make sure that everybody's aware that we could see a move lower. And I need to open up the simple chart right here. If we break on the simple chart, if we break back below this 3,800 zone, we can go lower low than we saw back here in October. Now we can still come right down to here, spike down, test this, and go. So there's the parameters on the simple chart, just simplifying everything, making it just a simple line chart, not candles, not anything. This is the same chart I've been showing since August on YouTube here. Right there are the parameters, right down to 3,900, and the trend line is actually just slightly below that right now today. So right down to 38.80, and we could see a test down into this consolidation right here. So just be careful. The beginning of the year was right in there. That is entirely possible. Somebody in Discord was talking about we could see it retest the beginning of the year. Or that's entirely possible. I mean that right there is a line I've had on the chart. So we could see this push down. Now we may see it spike and reverse. We could see a big move up off of this. Like this could be the flush out, and we can see it go up. So ideally, I want to see this hold a higher low than we saw right back here. I just want everybody to be aware don't be freaking out on me. Like, this is the flush out day. This is the day where we find out which way it's going to go. All right. So, holding the line so far. Holding the line. Holding support. Now, we don't have a lot of economic news this week. We have the jobs report coming up, I guess today, tomorrow, whatever. But, not big market moving news. We're still like 2 weeks out from CPI and 3 weeks out from a new FOMC. So just be careful. All right. There's not a lot of news catalysts, the fundamental things that we talk about. So watch out for this to hold support and bounce. Don't be surprised. Don't get in the bear trap. The voices are loud and proud trying to get everybody sucked into the short because they want to rip your money. All right. Yeah. Morning, Al. Morning, Goose. Morning, everybody. NQ, back in the orange zone. We can push back down to the bottom of that and find, which is way on down here at 11,500. But I expect it to hold about the middle if it's going to drop out quickly, and then we spike and reverse. Now, the one I was warning about, Russell. Let's jump back up to the daily roadmap line here. I was warning that we may see a push down to test that daily roadmap line. That may have been the missing piece. That is entirely possible that we see that today. So 1870-ish down to 1865-ish. We may see that push down on Russell. If that holds support there, that also confirms that we possibly got the final flush out. So just all these pieces are kind of coming together. Dollar retesting, still not a higher high. That, same sort of situation. What's funny about this pattern right here is it kind of reminds me of what happened on Tesla here. Look, same kind of pattern. And then today we are seeing a drop down. Now I have this support resistance line that comes from years back, support and resistance levels, all the way back here. Early 21, where we found support. So that's about 183 is where that line comes in. All right. Now, if we break down through that 183, that's a long-term important level for Tesla based on years of, back data and charting and price moving. If we break below that 183 level, we can see this retrace that 50 to 618 level around 145 to 155 area right in there. That's also another support resistance zone that comes in play from all the way back over here in 2020. So it's, these things keep coming back into play. So watch for it to bounce there. If we just bounce off that 183, we are likely to find resistance at that downtrend line. I've talked about that during the 30 minutes of awesome for several weeks. And I've mentioned it a few times on here. We can see that resistance right there, and it's likely to retrace right back into this 200 level once again. So we've got some chop work to do. Now, if we push just right on down here, we can, that can be what Tesla needs to flush out, and then it could just bust out. Could, but it's still likely to find a little resistance getting through that downtrend line because that's been a downtrend for a long time here. And it's probably a thicker line than just one little black line. So watch for resistance right in that area when we get up there. And you can just go draw, a downtrend line of the highs off of that October 21 high and just come across. And that's the trend line. That's the resistance. All right. Lots of people have it on the chart. Now, TSLL getting a nice big fat pullback today. It probably has support right here. Right around that 1038 area. TSLS getting a nice pop. I would watch that one. It's probably got some resistance, a couple of resistance bands right there. We're coming just up below it. And then we have another one stacked right on top of it, right there where we consolidated above it. So that one's got resistance going higher, and TSLL has some support going lower. All right, Silvergate also getting smacked down, lower low. Looks like the shorts are winning out this round. This might be an opportunity to jump on it. I don't know. Might be just dangerous. Like I've said a few times, this is battle of the big players here. Coinbase stopped accepting payments to or from Silvergate Capital. So that's that's the news of the day, and that's what's causing this to drop from 13 yesterday down to 7, almost a 50% drop. Crazy stuff. Luckin Coffee. I got stuck in this one back when they got delisted for fraud, and this is on my list of why I don't trade China. One of the many reasons. I don't know what just happened there. That was interesting. So this was coming back strong, but we delisted for a while back here, and it's dangerous. I don't trust China because they don't play by the same rules. I mean, those numbers aren't great looking, so I'd be cautious if you go chasing after that. The prior high right back over here before it did the fraud thing would be resistance, just based on the chart. PSNY, yeah, nice little pop. Looks like Polestar. It's not really a beat on the top. That's expectations on the top and beat on the bottom. And a little pop, but resistance up here at the roadmap line. So looks like a downtrend to me. It's kind of a watermelon seed squeeze play. That's a severe watermelon seed. See, big steep angles. Playing in that box, or the triangle, breaking out can lead to a big pop. Breaking down can lead to a big drop. And 0 is not that far away, so be careful on that one. For heaven's sakes. Plug, get a little drop, looks like. It was on the pop list. We got about 3 minutes for the open. This looks like a head and shoulders rejection. Head and shoulder and reject. And instead of it popping up, we could come right back down, and the lows would be the support right around 1175. So typically these head and shoulders, when they fail, they go the size. You may or may not have heard head and shoulders pattern. Usually the head to the neck is the range that it will go when it breaks the neckline. But if it rejects the neckline, the head to the neckline down the other way is often how far it'll go. And since we have a nice flat one, that's back to the lows and a double bottom potential on plug. Next up, CRM. Look at that. Nice right up to resistance. If we can maintain a move up above that, we can get bullish on CRM. That was, I kind of predicted we'd see a run right up there to that resistance line, support resistance line. If we can get above, stay above, up is the way for CRM. And if we start breaking back down below, we may come down here and make a lower low. So watch, that's a critical level right there on CRM. Very critical. All right. And that's that zone's a little fatter than just my little line there. You have to kind of look at these tails right in that zone. So something about like that is more like what we have on CRM. Next up, snow. Even though we're getting a big down in the market here, some stuff looks good, some stuff looks not so good. Snow getting smacked down here, pretty good, but significantly up off the lows. I don't know. We could come down, retest this zone one more time. Looking more like, though, probably gonna find support right in this zone right in here. Right in there, pushing the bottom of it. I don't know. If we push down below that 786 level, likely to make a lower low than we made right back here at 120. All right. AEHR is getting smacked down a little bit. It was reaching up to targets, needs a move back down to the roadmap line. Just based on, I don't even pay attention to the news that's happening on these. It looks like top decliners, terminated equity distribution agreement back in. Yeah, nothing hot new today, so I don't know. KR getting a nice little pop, resistance at the roadmap line, and it's just been sideways chop for a while. So this one was super hot and heavy. back here in 2022, and just kind of losing the enthusiasm coming back into the this stock. Typically is not a huge mover. I mean, it kind of goes in spurts, but I mean, look at the prices. This is 20, and this is 45. So we're not talking huge moves here, even though the chart looks pretty good. So CRAI. Looks like the market just opening up here. Yeah. Hanging out the highs. If this one breaks out, it can make another extension. OKTA. Looks like it popping back up, testing the roadmap line. If it can get out of this orange box, I mean, that's going to be resistance. That's a gap fill. It'll be resistance when it gets up there, and then we find out the real story. Can we break out of this, or are we going to break down again? VEEV. Getting a nice little pop up into the roadmap line. Still, that's a downtrend of highs. Be careful chasing that one. Burl. Yeah, Burlington, not just a little pop, not a big pop, but just hanging in there. It'll probably eventually roll back off and test the roadmap line sometime over here. Looks like it's on a casual schedule to do that. Probably around 200, maybe take late into March. It looks like. Potentially. So TMV, 20-year Treasury bear. Looks like getting a little bit up on that one. Got the resistance at this 137-ish area. And we can see it roll off again. AER, nice little pop. Resistance at the highs. We got more resistance from back here. I wouldn't expect a huge move up off of this, especially if the day is bearish, like it looks like it might be for S&P. All right, CRH, another one getting a nice little pop. That one's got resistance from the all-time highs right over here. So I wouldn't expect much above that, but if it does get above that, it can make an extension, and it can be a nice extension. NTLA, resistance at the roadmap line. That's a downtrend. Be careful. We've got to break out of it. I mean, all the same patterns over and over. ZS. Seeing a little run, but resistance at the roadmap line. It's got to clear that resistance. Not looking a lot higher there. FNGD looks like a hot mess of moving. I mean, goodness, that's the inverse fangs. Fangs are getting a little pullback, but this one can drop out. I don't like the leverage. My methods don't work as well on the leverage stuff. So especially with these stock splits in here and stuff. So one for 20 back there. This one's headed for another stock split eventually here. Funko Pop, ouch. That's getting slammed. Looks like they lost money, disappointed, and had a poor outlook. That's exactly what I would have expected. At some point, if they're gonna be successful, they're gonna turn it around, but it can go lower. They can go out of business. Be careful on that one. ZIMV also making a lower low. Classic, bounce down off the roadmap line, lower low. Classic patterns. MP struggling to break through the roadmap line, just consolidating in that zone. It's got to make some higher highs and keep them, not just get smacked back down. So, all right, box, ouch, right back below the roadmap line. If it can hold this zone, it can go on another run, but this may be a deeper retrace in the works here on box. PSTG, another one that looks like it may be on the way down. Pure Storage, not too familiar with these guys. Let's see, Computer Peripherals, yeah. Making money, but disappointing. So must not have had a bad outlook again. And Wolf getting smacked down. Looks like it's going to come down, do a double bottom situation. That's kind of the outlook. A little bit bearish on the day. We may get a bounce here. Everything's like ripe for this to bounce at any point. So watch out for a spike down. Test that support zone I've been talking about for weeks and weeks. Seems like I'm a broken record on this thing, but we are in the zone now. Like this is now backs against the wall for the market. Like I said, the voices are loud and proud that we did a bull trap and this is going to rip everybody and everything's horrible. Interest rate rising. Oh, you just don't understand. We're going into recession. Be careful. Don't fall into the narrative. watch the chart pattern. We're still on the bullish side of the trend line. If we find support at the trend line, we can rip higher and freak everybody out. It'll be a FOMO rally like we have not seen in a long while. Like this was nothing so far. You ain't seen nothing yet. That can entirely be true if we hold this support right here. All right. Be careful out there, all right, everybody? Be careful, be careful. Please be careful. The account you save may be your own. I think we could see a move down to the 3,900, if not 3,880 today. A little bit bearish bias, but if we get down, if we do a spike down, a big flush, we can do one of those 1%, 2%, 3% up days by the close, and everybody be like, what the heck just happened? So I want everybody to be careful out there today. Be very careful. Don't try to be the hero. You can do some serious damage to your account trying to get bias one way or the other. This is like a critical potential reversal point in the market. All right. Be careful. I don't know how many times I can say that. I'll be back tomorrow for another one of these morning monsters. And make sure that you are subscribed and hit the little bell with the little things. I need to make an animation for that or something. But yeah, that'll make sure you get alerts from YouTube when I go live. And we'll see where this goes. Today may be the day we find out if we're going to hold support or not. Finally, after weeks of talking about this, maybe we can move on to talking about something else. So, all right. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you again.